Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the elect, sincere brothers of Israel out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Alright, this is going to be a response video to Apostle Tahar's Vocab Malone. What is the mark of the beast? Alright. So without further ado, I'm just going to go start breaking down the word mark, alright, because there's three different uses for the word mark in the New Testament, and of course the main one that we're going to be focusing on is, in Revelation when it talks about the mark of the beast. So this is, this is Revelation 13 and 16, alright, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." Alright, and that word mark is, of course, charagma, alright, which means a stamp, an imprinted mark. The mark branded upon horses, and you brand horses because that's like a sign and showing that you own that horse, alright? Like, you go on a ranch farm, they got their family crest branded on the side of those animals. That's on their livestock. Things carved, sculptures, graven work of idolaters' images. Alright, so this stamp or imprint or brand is going to be showing that you belong to this beast system. Alright, that's what it is, man. Alright, and verse 17, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Alright, so with that, with the mark of the beast, you're going to be able to buy and sell things, and there's plenty of news articles and videos showing that you can do that with the RFID chip. Alright. Verse 18 here is, "Wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666." Alright, now when you look up that word 666, or 666, 666, it's Chi-Psi stigma. Alright, and go to the root word of that word, stigma. Alright, let's see what that means. G, right here. G4742. Alright, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body, to ancient Oriental usage. Alright, so the ancient Oriental usage was for slaves and soldiers who bore the name or the stamp of their masters or commander branded or pricked, alright, into their bodies to indicate whose master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. Alright, so that this mark of the beast is going to be a physical mark, and it's either going to be on, or both. It's going to be on their right hand and or their forehead. Alright, and there's, like I said, there's plenty of news articles, news. It's been on the news. There's a large number of people that have been chipped in their hand in Australia. Some C-list celebrity rappers have it. There's a large number in Europe. There's some companies even here in America that are chipped. Alright, RT has covered this. I'm pretty sure some other major news outlets have covered the RFID implant in the hand. And what's being developed is the implant for your brain, right? And it's been being developed since like the 1950s, but the devil is perfecting this, all right? Esau is Esau is perfecting this. All right, and I'm going to be focusing more on the brain implant um, in this video. But first, I'm going to break down that there's other words of mark. All right, this is 2 Timothy 4:11. The word mark is, for a name. All right, and the meaning or the word used for that mark is markos. All right, which means a defense. All right, mark equals a defense. That's the meaning of markos. So you got charagma and markos. And then the third usage is in Philippians 3:17. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an example. Alright, so the word used for this mark is scopio, which means to look at, observe, contemplate, to mark, to fix one's eyes upon, direct one's attention to, anyone, to look to take heed to thyself. Right? So, the word mark, charagma, clearly indicates that it's going to be a physical mark. Alright? It's not going to be a spiritual mark like you got these other false teachers and pastors claiming it to be. Alright? But with that brain implant, it goes into this idea or belief called transhumanism. All right, it means the belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations. All right, especially by the means of science and technology. So that's Esau's philosophy, is that they're gonna upgrade, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. Because that's the whole objective of Esau and the people that are going to be in like mind, taking this brain implant or RFID chip, taking that mark, thinking that they're going to, evolve and transhuman and be upgraded to God and be like God. You got a bunch of bugged out philosophies going on that they think that they're going to be the new God. All right. It says, because, and thou hast said, I am God, I sit in the seat of God, and in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee. All right. And that's what Esau has today, this technology. Everything that you Google, type, take a picture of, send out, whatever. This is collecting information, right? And it's plugged into the Internet of Things, right? You got this thing called AI, all right? Artificial intelligence, which is constantly improving itself. It's automative. It's learning from itself. It's learning from everybody and collecting all this information, all right? And I'm going to play this clip, and I got a few other clips, and I got some more scriptures.
Well, by 2020, we'll have computers that are powerful enough to simulate the human brain, but we won't be finished yet with reverse engineering the human brain and understanding its methods. One of my main themes, and I've developed this thesis over 30 years, is that information technology grows exponentially. The power of computers, our understanding of the human brain, the spatial resolution of brain scanning, the number of bits we move around the internet. Many different measures of information technology double every 1 year, or every 11 months, 13 months, depending on what you're measuring.
And that's a scripture, real quick. Let's see, I got it right here. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right. So the all the secret things of this book have been shut up and sealed, and until the end times, which we're living in right now. Right. And they're coming to manifest because we're living in those times. We can take these prophecies and apply them to current events today, apply them to history, and see that we're definitely in the end times. Right? Many shall run to and fro. You look at transportation nowadays. All right, you know it's crazy. All right, and knowledge shall be increased. All right, with all this, technology, you got Google at your fingertips, man. All right.
So these technologies will be a million times more powerful within 20 years. 20 years. In fact, the speed of exponential growth is itself speeding up. So in 25 years, these technologies will be a billion times more powerful.
All right, so you said the next 25 years, but keep in mind that this was posted in 2009. All right.
Than they are today. And we've already seen that kind of progress. When I was an undergraduate, we all shared a computer at MIT that took up half a building. The computer on your cell phone today is a million times cheaper and 1,000 times more powerful. That's a billion-fold increase in price performance of computing since I was an undergraduate. By 2029, and I've been quite consistent on this date, we will have completed the reverse engineering of the human brain. And we've already made very good progress on that. We've reverse engineered a number of different regions, like the cerebellum, which is responsible for our skill formation, and slices of the cerebral cortex where we do our recursive thinking, and the auditory cortex, the visual cortex, and so on. By 2029...
And that's where I saw where they're reverse engineering your different cells in your bodies, all right? Because you have specialty cells which perform special functions. Like your brain cells, you got muscle cells, blood cells that have specific functions. But you also have what's called stem cells, which can adapt to any one of those functions. All right, and what they're doing is how they're reverse engineering your brain and also different parts of your body now. Is they're taking those stem cells and putting it on a microchip. You can look this up. Just put your brain on a microchip. This is how they collect information from whatever part of the body. All right, and this is how they collect the output of that function. Right now, they're really focusing on the brain, right? Because your brain is what carries out all your motor functions. It releases chemicals that can affect your behavior, so on and so forth. All right, so this brain chip is about total control. All right, but I'm pretty much done with this. Yeah, they're another thing with those reverse engineering, and they're putting the technology inside of you. They can collect information straight from your body, all right? Because right now you have different sensors that are external, like your phone, your Apple Watch. I think some they're putting it in apparel now, all right, which can all track your information. But you can always just take that off, and they won't be able to track you anymore. You're free from the system, all right. But if they physically implant it, that's his mark, that he owns you, all right. That the beast system owns you, Esau owns you, all right. But this is definitely their plan, all right. Elon Musk, of course, he's famous for Neuralink, All right, this is a famous corporation that's trying to merge uh, man and machine to upgrade human, transhumanism, so on and so forth.
Fast forward to the 27th of March 2017, and Musk announces that he will be backing a new brain-computer interface venture, Neuralink. The ultimate goal of this company is to merge man with machine, fusing human intelligence with artificial intelligence to bring humanity up to a higher level of cognitive reasoning. Without this technology, Musk argues that humans will be unable to keep pace with advances in artificial intelligence, and that humans will become the intellectual equivalent of the house cat. So far, Musk has been calling this brain-computer interface technology Neuralace. In essence, Neuralace is an ultra-thin mesh that is implanted into the skull and forms a body of electrodes which are able to monitor brain function. It's not entirely clear at this time how far along the technology is in its development phase, but eventually, Neuralace should enable humans to upload or download information directly from a computer, just like Neo from the Matrix. In a matter of minutes, you too could proclaim, "I know Kung Fu."
Show me.
In order to insert Neuralace, a tiny needle which contains a rolled up mesh is placed inside the skull, whereby the mesh is then injected. The mesh unravels upon injection, encompassing the brain. Gradually, the Neuralace will integrate itself with the human brain, creating the perfect symbiosis between man and machine. So far, Neuralace has been tested on live mice. Upon autopsy, researchers found little negative consequences associated with the insertion of this mesh-like structure. However, I'm not sure if I want to be the first human volunteer. This technology sounds amazing. The ability to hook our brains up with machines and thereby enhance human intelligence could open up whole new worlds of possibilities for our species.
Alright, so with that, I'm going to grab Matthew 24 and 24. It says, "For there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." Now, with this kind of technology, a lot of people are going to deceive that this is the way to this is the way, man. You can have a higher brain capacity. You can remember stuff just like that. You can heal any kind of disease just by thinking it. Whatever, man. It's all right there for convenience sake. But this is about total control, because this is easy to manipulate and for Esau to just take control. Alright?
Body wash? What do you mean body wash? I use parcel.
Slacky.
What is this? A promo.
This is a TED Talk. The title was "How to Control Someone Else's Arm with Your Brain." Alright?
The brain is an amazing and complex organ. And while many people are fascinated by the brain, they can't really tell you that much about the properties about how the brain works because we don't teach neuroscience in schools. And one of the reasons why is that the equipment is so complex and so expensive that it's really only done at major universities and large institutions. And so in order to be able to access the brain, you really need to, dedicate your life and spend 6.5 years as a graduate student just to become a neuroscientist to get access to these tools. And that's a shame because 1 out of 5 of us, that's 20% of the entire world, will have a neurological disorder. And there are 0 cures for these diseases. And so it seems that what we should be doing is sort of reaching back earlier in the education process and sort of teaching students about neuroscience, and so that in the future they may be thinking about possibly becoming a brain scientist. And so when I was a graduate student, my lab mate Tim Marzullo and myself decided that, what if we took this complex equipment that we have for studying the brain and made it simple enough and affordable enough that anyone, an amateur or a high school student, could learn and actually participate in the discovery of neuroscience. And so we did just that. A few years ago, we started a company called Backyard Brains. We make DIY neuroscience equipment, and I brought some here tonight, and I want to do some demonstrations. You guys want to see some? All right. All right, so I need a volunteer. So right before, what is your name? All right, Sam. I'm going to record from your brain. Have you had this before? No. Okay. All right. I need you to stick out your arm for science.
So keep in mind that he said this is a do-it-yourself kind of equipment. This is backyard, low-level technology. All right, and they're able to do this. All right, he said they're gonna record a signal from her brain to her arm. All right, that's all that is. All right, nothing fancy. All right.
Roll up your sleeve a bit. All right. And so what I'm going to do, I'm putting electrodes on your arm, and you're probably wondering, I just said I'm going to record from your brain. What am I doing with your arm? You have about 80 billion neurons.
See, the difference is these electrodes are on, all right? They can simply be taken off. So this is an accessory. This is not a mark. All right, this is not an incision. All right.
Neurons inside your brain right now. They're sending electrical messages back and forth and chemical messages. But some of your neurons right here in your motor cortex are going to send messages down when you move your arm like this. They go down across your corpus callosum, down onto your spinal cord, your lower motor neuron, out to your muscles here, and that is electrical discharge. It's going to be picked up by these electrodes right here, and we're going to be able to listen to exactly what your brain is going to be doing. So I'm going to turn this on for a second. Have you ever heard what your brain sounds like? All right, let's turn it on. So go ahead. Go ahead and squeeze your hand. All right, so what you're listening to, so this is your motor units that are happening right here. Okay, so let's take a look at it as well. So I'm going to stand over here. I'm going to open up our app here. So now I want you to squeeze. Yeah, so right here, these are the motor units that are happening from her spinal cord out to her muscle right here. And as she's doing it, you're seeing the electrical activity that's happening here. You can even click here and try to see one of them. So keep doing it really, really hard. Yeah, so now we've paused on one motor action potential that's happening right now inside of your brain. Okay. Do you guys want to see some more? All right. That's interesting, but let's get it better. Okay. I need one more volunteer. Okay. What is your name, sir? Miguel. All right. You're going to stand right here. So when you're moving your arm like this, your brain is sending a signal down to your muscles right here. I want you to move your arm as well. All right, so your brain is going to send a signal down to your muscles. And so it turns out that there is a nerve that's right here that runs up here that innervates these three fingers and is close enough to the skin that we might be able to stimulate that. So that we can do is copy your brain signals going out to your hand and inject it into your hand so that your hand will move when your brain tells your hand to move. And so in a sense, she will take away your free will, and you will no longer have any control over this hand, okay? You with me? All right, so I just need to hook you up. All right, so I'm going to find your ulnar nerve, which is probably right around here. You don't know what you're signing up for when you come up with So now I'm going to move away, and I'm going to plug it into our human-to-human interface over here. Okay, so Sam wants you to squeeze your hand again. All right. Do it again. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to hook you up over here so that you get the stimulus. It's going to feel a little bit weird at first. It's going to feel like when you lose your free will and someone else becomes your agent, it does feel a bit strange. So I want you to relax your hand. All right, and Sam, you're with me? All right, so you're gonna squeeze. I'm not going to turn it on yet, so go ahead and give it a squeeze. All right. So now, are you ready, Miguel?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, so I've turned it on. So go ahead and turn your hand. Do you feel that a little bit? Okay, do it again.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, so relax. No, hit it again. Okay. Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right, so relax. Do it again. All right, so now. All right, so right now, your brain is controlling your arm, and it's also controlling his arm. So go ahead and just do it one more time. All right, so that's perfect. So now, what would happen if I took over my control of your hand? And so just relax your hand. What happens? Nothing. Why not? Because the brain has to do it. Now you do it again.
So yeah, with the brain implant or other kind of implants that have electrodes monitoring all your senses, Esau will be able to collect information and also put other information into you, which is really weird. All right, so if this isn't part of the mark of the beast, then what is? Alright, so with that, I hope this video was edifying, and shalom.